I went comic book hunting in California. Check out the amazing stores and the books I found. Hi everyone and welcome back to Still Only 35 Cents. For this one we're going comic book hunting in California. But before we get started, the usual stuff. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell for future content just like this one. Now, if you love your comics, you have a plethora of stores to choose from when you're traveling in the US. So whilst I was away on a recent trip, I decided to go to the surrounding area and check out the local comic shops. So let's go hunting. Hi everyone and welcome to Still Only 35 Cents. We're here at Torpedo Comics, Irvine. Let's see what's inside. So that's the tour of the shop. What did I pick up? I got a copy of number 3 Ghost Manor from Charlton Comics, grade 9.2. Stop number 2 here at Comic Quest. Managed to pick up this Absolute Martian Manhunter foil variant.
What are you looking for here?
Bronze Age. Bronze Age Marvel. So the problem is, let's see if we can find.
That's what my friend was telling me. Yeah, like something a little bit more gritty. I'm tempted to, try it. Like, the only four issues end, but like on it's been going alright. Playing
Need to check that. Have all the invaders. That's.
I was gonna say, have you seen the art in this issue? No, open the random page. I'm just not read anything else. I'm just like, I can talk through this. I mean, it's, oh yeah. What one was the best one? Yeah, I think I agree with you. I like all of them so much. Like Wonder Woman and it's so funny. I think I'll say like, oh,
Just check these out just in case. That's a great book.
I get it. exactly.
I already have it, but it's a great book.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. They're not robots. They're like, thank you. I've been saying. Oh my god. I'm not okay. I'll run IMW for 2 seconds. If you ever have an opportunity to read some IMW Transformers comics, especially Cybertron or Civil War era Cybertron, it's the coolest. It's hard, dude. It's hard. Orion Optimus Prime is like a 30 copy. It's a whole thing. You gotta. It's so good. It's so good. Megatron's a revolutionary, kind of like we did in the most recent movie, but I don't know if it so much else. Did you ever read I think the new run.
Damn it.
You got them already?
I think I've got both of them. That one I haven't got, but it's, look at it, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, it's just, you can find somebody who did it for 20 years.
Oh yeah, because they're not robots.
It's cool, it's one of the red ones.
All the biology IDW did some really cool, they actually
So neat. It's stitched. And that's stitched too. Damn it. That's a real shame.
I love it, it's so cool. They make it feel like a real culture that's been around for a long time.
They use these out to make these characters in the series where it's like these are like designated like sentient life forms that are like aspects of each of the new series, their design is not consistent. They're constantly having
They look pretty good.
Which ones?
That's cool.
yeah.
That's genius.
That one
Yeah.
looks
The
good.
whole, like, why wouldn't you play with the morphing aspect?
Yeah.
That one looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks okay.
One of their gods, or like, depending on their
That is a nice condition, right?
Well, so they had like, well, then they had like one issue where they had like the creator having a crisis, like really long and the series like, yeah, you're not supposed to be able to see it's philosophy
Cool.
Okay.
it's like pretty much like every single year you get power in your team, that's like the year that we
So, okay, yeah, can we put our own down 100 feet now, and then there were also these like tribes.
and then they did the year before that was Ninjas.
Yeah, bro, they just want to use my shit.
That was the first one that Disney did after the
And they did dinosaurs in the other.
Oh yeah. No, that's the whole like that's the show for the people who like sci-fi and shit. It's whenever anti-dinosaur was money, they were like,
Yeah, literally, make it dinosaurs.
they've done it like 5 times.
But it works. It's such a
RPM was like, oh yeah, the machine uprising happened, Skynet's real, and that was the whole season. And then the next season, like, all right, back to regular time.
Dude, that's. I'm assuming
So what did we pick up? I got this copy of Marvel Age 23. Marvel Team Up Annual 2 featuring the Hulk and Spider-Man. Power Man and Iron Fist 55, still only 35 cents. Power Man and Iron Fist issue 53, another still only 35 cents for the collection. Godzilla issue 18, still only 35 cents for the still only 35 cents collection. And a bit of a random purchase. Saw this on the shelf. This is the 4th print ratio 1 in 20 variant of Mark Spear's Monsters issue 1. Hi everyone, we're here at Desert Oasis Comics here in Palm Springs, and this is the owner. Tell us about the store.
Well, I opened the store about 14 years ago. I've always been a collector since I was about 9 years old. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, one of my stories that I always share is that I was a terrible reader when I was a kid, and was a teacher of mine got me into sci-fi, and I read everything in the library, and I got into comics afterwards because of her. I was one of these kids. I hated to read. I was a little slow. Comics got me involved. It got me motivated. I ended up being my vocabulary was a little bit off the charts because of comics. So I was kind of known as this smart kid, but comics, just big words. But it was a lot of fun. It got me into college, and I fell in love with comics and collected my whole life. When I opened this about 14 years ago, I had about 30,000 comics.
Wow.
I was people always joke, what are you going to do with them? And I said, well, I told my brother, because he wasn't sure, I said, just when I pass away, dig a hole in the backyard, bury me, set them on fire. It'll be a Viking funeral, I'll take them with. But a few years back, I was a director of human resources, so I worked with big corporations, three-piece suit, corner office. Kind of got burnt out, took a couple years off, and I always thought about opening up a store. I love comics. I love the people in comic book stores. And 14 years ago, I took my last of my savings, and here I am.
Wonderful.
And I've been loving every day.
It's a great store. Really enjoyed digging. Thanks so much for having me in the store today.
Yeah,
and if you're ever in Palm Springs, make sure to hit Desert Oasis Comics. So what books did I get? So first of all, at Torpedo Comics, managed to pick up this issue number 3 of Ghost Manor from Charlton Comics. It's in a really nice shape. Managed to pick this up for $45, but again, for a really early Charlton that are really hard to find in high grade, this was a no-brainer. Second on the list was this copy of Absolute Martian Manhunter, a foil edition, which I managed to pick up from Comic Quest. Next up is a set of books from Nuclear Comics, which had a decent selection of back issues. First up, Marvel Age 23, featuring this great Dire Wraith cover by Bill Sienkiewicz from the amazing Rom the Space Knight run. And I was able to also pick up this Marvel Team Up Annual number 2 featuring Spider-Man and the Hulk. As you can see, decent pricing too, reasonably good grades, $5 and $6 respectively. I was also able to make a decent dint in my still only 35-cent run. Got this Godzilla King of Monsters number 18, $16. Power Man and Iron Fist issue 53 for $6. And Power Man and Iron Fist issue 55 again for $6. And on the way out, I managed to pick up this 4th printing of Mark Spear's Monsters issue 1. This is the 1 in 20 variant cover that was done specifically, and a take on the classic vintage Nintendo system game. Next was one of my favorites. That was Desert Oasis Comics. Again, I managed to make a decent dint in my still only 35-cent collection with this copy of the Human Fly issue 19, Human Fly issue 14, Human Fly issue 17, and then I was also able to pick up some early Charltons once again, this time all new E-Man issue 7, all new E-Man issue 8, and all new E-Man issue 10. Issue 10 is notable because it does feature John Byrne's art and Rog 2000. On top of that, I picked up a heap of the foil variants. This store has a lot of modern books all stacked up. So I got Absolute Flash foil logo variant, Absolute Martian Manhunter foil logo variant, and Absolute Green Lantern foil logo variant. What was also great is I was able to pick up the Absolute Batman foil logo variant as well from this store. And not just that, I also picked up this blank Treasury edition of the Superman versus the Flash, the greatest race of all time. The last store I visited was Comic Asylum in Palm Springs, where I managed to pick up this Namor issue 25 to complete my run of the John Byrne Namor issues, as well as issue 21, issue 19, and issue 10. They also had a small selection of back issues, which sadly were priced up when you took them to the counters. They had no pricing. However, I did get a good deal on these, as a lot of people were not on the lookout for these types of titles. Again, I was able to complete some of the more obscure issues in my still only 35-cent run. First up, Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk issue 78, a copy of Marvel's Greatest Comics starring the Fantastic Four, issue 80, and my favourite from the entire trip, issue 13 of Marvel's Super Action starring Captain America with this fantastic Jim Steranko cover. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this view of the local comic shops that I was able to check out whilst I was visiting in California. I had a whale of a time digging in those various shops and urge you to check out every single one. I'll leave a link in the description down below. As you can see, got a host of really good vintage and modern books, so love to hear your comments down below on which ones you would have picked up. We've just launched channel memberships here on Still Only 35 Cents. For just $2.99 US a month, you can join the other price variant members to gain access to exclusive member-only videos and live shows. All the proceeds raised from memberships will be going to the Hero Initiative. As always, take care of yourselves, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Don't forget to check out other great videos, as well as follow us on Instagram, Facebook and X. We also host a weekly live stream, the Merry Monday Mail Call Show, every Monday morning at 7:30 AM Australian Eastern Time.